Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and it is time today to work on my Heaven and Earth design painting. So this is it at the moment, and this is what it is due to look like. So we're around here somewhere. I reckon we're on this black bit here. So we're getting there. It has been a while since I've worked on this, and I have just grabbed my tray and pen that I've been using for, is it On the Way Home? I'm forgetting the name of it now, but I've just grabbed my tray and pen for that because I'm not organised enough to look for another tray and pen or grab a different one. I am well and truly out of the flow when it comes to YouTube. So I, of course, have just finished, well, the main thing that was just finished was June Waffle. 10 days ago now, June Waffle finished. But of course, I finished filming that 10th of June? No, 9th of June probably. I flew out to Australia on the 10th of June. So yeah, it's been a bit of a weird June Waffle. Completely thrown me a little bit for six. It's taken me a while to get caught up on things since getting home. Well, in fact, I'm not caught up on things. You should see the size of my to-do list. My to-do list is ginormous at the moment, but it's okay. We're going to plod through one thing at a time. Starting this Thursday morning with the June Waffle. I was hoping to film this yesterday. I had everything set up in here, camera set up, diamond painting out, all the whole lot, and then realised that my tablet was at 2% because it hadn't been, of course, plugged in because I'd been away. And it just depleted over the last few weeks. So that sort of scuppered me. This tablet is an old tablet. It's an old Huawei. It's years old, but it works. It does exactly what it should do with Pattern Keeper, and it's great. However, even if I have it plugged in while I'm filming, it will use more charge than it charges up. So even at 2%, I couldn't have just kept it plugged in and done the waffle anyway. It would have gone off. So that wouldn't have been that interesting a waffle, would it now? If I'd have lost my tablet part way through. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm all over the place today. I don't have comments, etc. because June Waffle, I did a little bit different to aid my unknown to many trip to Australia. So I'm sort of winging it today. I have done some filming since I've been back, but that has primarily been my vlog. So I've done 2 days worth of vlogs since I've been back over launch weekend. So one of those will be up next week and another one of them the week after. And I've really been enjoying doing them. So I keep trying to think of ideas I can do for future ones. So do let me know if there's particular types of vlogs you either like to see that you've seen or you want to see. Do let me know, because I'm going to try and do one a week for vlogs. And then, of course, do my couple of whip and waffles and other various things. So I've got a de-kitting to do. I've got quite a few unboxings to spread out over the next few weeks. And yeah, we'll see how things go. But trip to Australia was fantastic. It was winter. Not so keen on going in winter. I haven't been in winter before. So normally when I've been a few different times of year, but my favourite time of year to go to Australia is around October. Because it is their spring. So it's spring in Australia around October. It doesn't get too hot, but it is more like the nice parts of UK summer, should we say. So it's my favourite time to go. But my dad's birthday is in June. And while that is a summer birthday in the UK, it is a winter birthday in Australia. So needs must. It's cold at night in Australia in winter. Of course, their houses aren't built like the UK ones, because that's not what gets them through their spring, summer and autumn. So they are not built to retain the heat, because for most of the year it is warm. It is too warm. So when it comes to winter, it is cold at night. Very cold at night, and the house just doesn't keep the heat. Luckily where we were staying, the houses we were staying did have, good heating systems, but it still was a little bit of a shock to the system, especially when we were having a heat wave in the UK at the time, which we're currently in the middle of another one. So I am filming this early on in the morning before the heat kicks in, and it becomes unbearable. And I'm hoping to be able to just hunker down with the air conditioning unit and tick some admin things off my list later on today when it gets far too hot. But yeah, we arrived so Caris and I went to Australia. Caris came with me to surprise my niece. My brother and sister, well, niece and nephew, but my brother and sister knew I was coming, and their respective spouses. They knew we were coming. My mum and dad had no idea, and neither did my niece and nephews. So that was nice. So we arrived on the Wednesday evening, tea time rush. Bless my brother-in-law for picking us up from the airport during tea time traffic. And yeah, we arrived at my sister's and surprised my niece and nephew, which was lovely, because they had no idea that we were coming. So that was good. And then we had a couple of days to recover from jet lag. And then while my dad's birthday was actually on the Sunday, he had to travel 5 hours, I think it was, for work on the Monday. So he chose to have his birthday celebration on the Saturday. So we started early morning. My dad was text clues to lead him to certain points, certain landmarks, places, etc. But like a scavenger hunt, my dad loves a good puzzle. So the first one led him to what's called the Bluff, which is an ocean lookout in the state of Victoria, where they live. And I met them there. So I travelled with my sister and surprised both my mum and my dad, which was really, really nice. Yeah, I could tell I'd managed to surprise my dad for sure, which is hard to do. Normally that's something he is extremely good at guessing. So my brother and sister did fantastic on that one. And then we travelled. Actually, the next clue took just the 5 of us. So my mum, my dad, me, my brother and my sister to breakfast in Torquay, which again is in Victoria. And yeah, my dad was mentioning how it was the first time in years and years that all 5 of us had been in the same car. So yeah, we went and had breakfast, and then we had a walk along the ocean front, which even though it's winter, it's still nice enough to do that. You just might have a coat on, but it's not like the British winter where you'd be like, nah, far too cold and windy. The wind isn't as much of a thing. So yeah, we went for a walk along the front, and then the next clue took my dad to a bingo hall. My dad's always liked to play a game of bingo. So we went and played a game of bingo, and the kids joined us for that one, or the 2 older kids, sorry, joined us for that one. They were able to play along. They just weren't able to play for prizes. So I think their dad sent them a prize if they won. But spoiler alert, none of us won anything. There was always somebody who got there first. And then we went on to dinner, where my younger nephews joined us as well. So the next clue took us to dinner. We had like a late lunch dinner, and then we went to another oceanfront area that also had a park, so the kids could play, and we got a coffee, which is always good. Regular coffee stops are always good. And then we went back to my parents' house, where my sister-in-law had set up a buffet sort of nibbles tea, because we'd had a late lunch. So we had nibbles tea. Oh, hang on, that one doesn't go there. Going further up. Yeah, and I think it all sort of finished around 9:30 at night, which was over 12 hours from once we'd started. So yeah, it was a full-on day. My dad loved it, which was great, and yeah, I got to surprise my mum and dad. So for the remainder of my trip, I moved between different houses dependent. So I spent a few days with my mum. Then I was back at my sister's for a night. Then I was at my brother's. Anyway, I was here, there and everywhere. But we had great fun catching up and seeing everybody until we had to endure the flight home. It's actually, I think it worked out well. So when we first were planning the trip, the idea was we would leave the UK on the Tuesday, because it was the cheapest day to fly. As long as we were there for my dad's birthday, we let the price of flights determine when we went and sort of when we came back. But we had to adhere within the 2 weeks that Caris had got off work. So we had to pay attention to that. So yeah, we flew out on a Tuesday, and the idea was we would land back on the Tuesday because Caris would be in work on the Wednesday. But it worked out a couple of £100 cheaper for us to land back at 6:30 on the Wednesday morning. So Caris was like, that's fine. She's like, I'll just go into work that day, because she works in Manchester anyway. She's like, I'll just go into work that day and it'll help me with jet lag, because she'll have to stay awake for work and then she can come home and crash. So that's what we decided to book. And it's kind of a good job that we did, because the flight the day before, so the flight that would have got us home on the Tuesday, was actually the same day that Qatar airport closed due to, I think, bombing of a US base that's near to the airport. So yeah, they closed the airport, and our flight, or what would have been our flight, actually flew round an Indian airport, I think, for a while before it was able to land. So yeah, it would have been a very eventful trip back, but ours was completely fine. So yeah, great time was had in Australia. I'll probably think of more things about it to discuss over the coming weeks maybe, but the surprise went off great, and yeah, it was good to touch base, though next time I'll go when it's warmer. Only slightly warmer, but warmer. It's it puts Australia in a little bit of a different light when it's colder. It's still a lovely, lovely country, don't get me wrong. And a couple of the days before we left were still like 20 degrees. So they were really, really quite nice. It wasn't miserable rain while we were there, though I think they had it the weeks before. So it wasn't like a dreary UK winter rain, sluggish type thing. It is a different type of winter. But yeah, it's not the same when I'm used to going in spring. Since I got back, so we got back on the Wednesday, we actually landed at about 6:15 in the morning. Will met us at the airport before work, picked me up, picked Caris's case up, and she took the train into work for the day, and she actually said it was perfectly fine. She was more than fine for the day. It actually hit her more on the second day. However, Caris can sleep on a plane. Me, not so much. I got maybe an hour and a half over the two flights, and that was a good flight for me. Normally, I'll be lucky if I get half an hour in 5-minute batches. I just can't sleep sat up. I just can't do it. So, yeah, I spent Wednesday basically just drinking coffee and getting to the point that I could go to bed. That's all I wanted to do, was get to a reasonable time to go to bed, so I wouldn't be fighting with jet lag for days and days. So I think I went to bed about 7:30. Wasn't up too early the next morning. Was still up by 6:30, I think, but it wasn't like a 5 o'clock wake up or anything, so that was pretty good. On the Thursday, I spent a lot of time catching up on business admin. So while Catherine had been sending out orders for me and Megan had kept on top of customer emails, there were still other things I needed to deal with. So I spent Thursday doing like half an hour or an hour of admin, and then I'd go and start unpacking a case. Then I'd go back and do some more admin, and then I'd go back and unpack more of a case. So managed to get all the cases unpacked, and yeah, on top of some admin. Friday was finishing with admin and trying to get myself a bit of a game plan and things to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, I've got loads and loads to do. I feel like it's all go since I've got back, but it's been good. It's been good to have a set, you know, list of goals each day to complete is always good. Thank you to everyone for your huge support on the launch this last week. Very nervous before the mini diamond paintings went up. Always unsure when bringing in something new, especially something that I've spent so much time sort of compiling and putting together. Always unsure how things are going to go. So thank you all so much for your support with those. It's gone great, which is good. So I am itching to design more. It's just not yet. Can't go to the top of my to-do list quite yet. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support. All launch orders, well, launch up until the Monday, I managed to get basically all orders cleared yesterday. And then, of course, today's orders will get cleared today. Last night and today's will go today. And I'm back on track for dispatching next working day or same working day, depending on when the orders come in. So that's good. And yeah, got lots of ideas buzzing round in my head, but I am switching gears this week and next week, switching to focus on Advent. Hang on, why is that? Oh, this whole lot. This is why I don't like this numbers sheet. I've actually put this whole row, this whole little blobby section, one square over, because I should have started on the numbers. And I've just realised when it's come to the point that they're touching and they shouldn't be. So let me just slide all those over. And then I have the gap I should have. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be spending the rest of this week and next week on Advent, trying to get, like, we've got loads of stuff done and loads of stuff all over the place, but I need to collate everything and get that ready for launch, which we're hoping will be the 1st of August. The only thing that may delay it is if we are not quite there with EU shipping. That's actually probably going to be the thing that takes the most of my time. I've been waiting to hear back from my EU rep for quite a while. Me going to Australia sort of stopped or prolonged it a little bit. But yeah, I heard back from them yesterday. So now hopefully we'll be able to I'll be able to probably have to spend quite a few days getting the paperwork ready for all items in the shop, because trying to manage and say, oh, you can order this, but you can't order this, is not going to happen. So I'm going to basically bury myself in EU paperwork and hopefully get everything up to date, ready for the 1st of August. So if it's delayed, it will be because the paperwork is delayed, or the verification of the paperwork is delayed. But rest assured, I am on it, and it is going to consume my life for the next week, in the hopes of getting everything sorted. But we will keep you updated and let you know, once it is confirmed and things. And yeah, it's exciting times. It's been one thing that has been on my to-do list, and I've been doing little bits towards it, but I feel like I've not been able to do the full hard slog because there's been too many things that needed to be done beforehand. So I'm very excited to be able to finally do, well, I'm not excited to do the long hard slog. I'm excited for the task to be fully completed. That's what I'm excited for. And I can actually see an ending, even if it's a lot of work to get to that ending. I can see that the end is possible now, but it does make you realise how many different types of products that we stock when you realise that you need to do a bunch of paperwork for each and every one. So yeah, that's going to be entertaining. Oh, I don't want that one. But yeah, I hope everybody has had an amazing June. Mine has definitely been a little bit different, that's for sure, but it's been great fun. And yeah, it's nice to have been able to go and surprise my dad for his 70th. Well, one, it's nice to be able to surprise my dad because surprising him is not something that's easy anyway, at all. He's not an easily surprised person. So to be able to surprise him is a win in itself. And yeah, I'm blessed to have been able to do it. Now I just need to get everything else back on track. And yeah, exciting times. I'm trying to think what else I have to update people on. Let me just check. Am I missing one in there? No, I'm not. I'm actually trying to move them over a bit too much. I'm trying to fill in this bit where I've just moved those diamonds over because they were in the wrong place. Because while they do slide over, they don't quite fit the same way they should have done. Hang on. That there. No, I still feel like I'm missing 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, there is only 9 there. Okay, let's start from here. Where's right? It does feel as though I am missing diamonds. So this is this strip. Okay, that's right. Then we have this next strip, which is this one. Then we have this one, which needs to move over. That's that strip. There is another one in each. That makes me feel better because I feel like if I can get another diamond in each of these, they will actually be nestled better. There we go. That's better. That actually feels now as tight a fitting as the rest of the diamond painting is. Gotta love a glitch because they're too busy chatting. And now I can't remember what I was saying. This is the problem when I don't have comments to reply to. I've got a couple of bits of glue dots stuck on diamonds, and I've actually just used my putty on them in the multiplace to get them off. Yeah, this is the problem when I don't have comments to follow because I can't go back and reference a comment. But yeah, do ask your questions down below so that I can get back to the normal running of Whip and Waffles for Sunday, which I do need to film soon actually. So if you could all leave your comments while watching this on Thursday night, that would be fantastic. And I can try and film my Sunday Whip and Waffle Friday morning before it gets too hot, because we are due a heat wave again starting today. and then it increases tomorrow and Saturday, and then Sunday I think the thunderstorms may start, but they may move to Monday. And then we have rain and thunderstorms for a while, so I reckon things will get a lot cooler. But yeah, we're going to have a couple of days of heat, which is not nice. I'm not keen on the heat. I want all of those, all of those, all of those, and all of those. Yeah, I don't work too well in the heat. I don't like it. I keep moving according to where the sun is in my house, whether the sun is shining on the conservatory or whether it's shining on the shop. I just move to the coolest place and work from there for a while. But yeah, I have got lots and lots of different tasks on my to-do list, so at least I can move about between all the different tasks according to what the weather's like, and what is, and leave the more strenuous tasks, if there is particularly any strenuous ones or hugely strenuous ones, for when it's cooler next week. I guess any task can feel strenuous when it's hot. But yeah, amazing time had with June Waffle. I need to de-kit June Waffle, remind myself of the painting. I also need to earmark time for actually diamond painting myself. I haven't touched my diamond painting since I've got back, because I found a lot of things have run into the evening for me. So yeah, I need to listen to my own advice and earmark some me time for some diamond painting over the next few weeks, just to stop things getting too crazy. Okay, that section is done. I will try to do this section. Oh, it's not got much black. It's got like, how many? 6? Yeah, six black in this next section, but it does have a lot of white. So I'm going to try and do this next section this week. In fact, maybe that will be my diamond painting for tonight, is to try and get this next section done. And yeah, try and get back in the flow of getting things done. So yeah, I feel like this has been an extremely crazy whip and waffle, and I apologise, I'm out of sync with all of this, but thank you all so much for bearing with me today. Do leave your comments down below so I've got something to talk about on Sunday, but thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.